Good morning, everyone, or good day, or good evening, whenever you're watching this. It is Friday, June 12th. My name is Beth, and this is my magic studio. I'm doing a reading around our creativity and our art making and how it pertains to our lives. And I am so tongue-tied this morning. I have started this video like 7 times. And I can't get the words out. So that's why I am trying to speak slowly because I just can't seem to speak this morning. And I kind of, I don't know, just not a good sleep and like maybe a light sleep. And yeah, we have a new moon in 2 days on Sunday on the 14th. And Uranus is squaring the nodes right now. We're still just on the outside, like just kind of moving away from that Gemini, from that Venus-Jupiter conjunction, but they're still only 2 degrees apart. So, I mean, the conjunction is for a while, but the moon and the Uranus squaring the nodes of the moon are significant right now, as is moving into the shadow period of Mercury retrograde. And it's maybe why I'm tongue tied. I don't know. But just, I get a lot of joy in experiencing how life responds to planetary alignments, and I find it just endlessly fascinating. I read astrology for enjoyment and for help and for helping others. I'm not like an astrologer. I listen to astrologers, and I look at the astrology and I see how it relates to myself or how it relates to someone else that I'm reading for. And something that I really love in there's a few things that have popped into my life from working with astrology, and the nodes of the moon have been very significant for me, as well as the decans in the zodiac. So every 10 degrees in the zodiac is a new decan that pertains to a tarot card, and this new moon is landing at the end of Gemini, the third decan of Gemini, which is the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Swords it's an ending, it's a completion of something, and it's a blessing for the new beginning, because tens are always the transition into one again. And so they are it's like the 9 is the peak, and then the 10 is the resolution and the unfolding. And in the 10 of swords, it's like it's the death of something. But I listened to Minot Pontero. I just love Chris, and he always talks about the blessing that the man on the ground in the Ten of Swords is making this symbol of a blessing with his fingers. So it's blessing the new cycle. So I really love that. Being a Scorpio moon, I have learned that the blessing of Scorpio isn't just that things keep falling apart, but that there is the new growth afterwards. And the new growth is already starting. Like, as something is falling apart, if you look carefully, the new growth is already growing there. It's already happening. And so that's what this isn't a Scorpio time right now, but in this moon, in this new moon, we have this Ten of Swords decan, and that is asking us to look at something that is dying, and something that is going, or something that we need to let go of. And the new moons are for that time anyway. So the last couple of days before the new moon, which is right now, we are releasing. The energy's low. Often people are more tired and just, pooped, and so it's like we're releasing something. So what can we intentionally release? And in this case, what story are we holding on to around our art, or around ourselves as artists or musicians or writers? What narrative has been playing out in our minds and in our lives, therefore, that isn't necessary anymore, that is actually an old narrative? And so really look at this today and tomorrow, and just ask yourself, what is that narrative that is playing out, that has been playing out my whole life? I mean, it could be something like, my work isn't valuable, or it's not, I'm not an artist, or I don't have what it takes, or, I'm not ready, like all these things, all these stories that, and I find with myself, these stories can be so subtle that we don't even hear them. Like, I always admire people who can hear the stories. I don't hear them. They just are like, how would I describe it? They're more like colors that, and films, and like, like there's an old wet moldy towel over something. It's been there for, years, decades, generations, whatever, and it's been there so long that what's ever underneath is like, it's not even accessible, and the towel isn't even seen anymore. Like, it's just, and so the words aren't there, but there is something around a feeling, an energy, a presence, just something that is dampening, diminishing, and that will show up in behaviors. Like, maybe that'll show up on just like procrastinating and not getting something done, or not like just not contacting someone that you wanted to contact, or just not doing the work, like not doing the daily work, and there's not any sort of certain narrative or story that's saying it, but it's there anyway. So it's very, these can be very tricky and very hard to recognize. So I'm just saying, like, dig in. So let's dig in right now. So this is a reading. That was a really long intro. This is a reading about that narrative. So I'm just going to ask, like, what old narrative has been playing out in our lives that we can't even see, that's so familiar we can't even see it, because they're the hard ones. All right, let's look. Oh my God, the King of Swords again. And I shuffled. Okay. Whew. The King of Swords as an old narrative. So, what I'm seeing, oh, this is a tricky one. The King of Swords as an old story. Well, here are some things that I am seeing, like this solitary, like I'm a loner, I'm alone on the mountain, there's no one there to support me, I have to do it all myself, I have to figure it out all myself, like I am the only one, like this kind of thing, like this solitary, this solitary, isolating experience. And maybe it's like, I'm too old. I'm too old to do this. I've missed my chance. Or I almost like, I want to say I'm above it all. Like, and I don't, like, I'm above all the hard work that needs to be done. Like, that's a really weird thought and it doesn't quite make sense, but maybe it's going to make sense to someone. Like, I shouldn't have to do this. I shouldn't have to do the daily work. Yeah, very, very strange. Or there's a rigidity. Like now that I'm looking at him, I'm seeing, like trying to look at him in a negative light, I am seeing a rigidity I can't change. I can't change to, like, I have this high ideal of what art is supposed to be, or what life is supposed to be like an artist, and I can't bring it down to earth. Like, this is the thing. He's way up there above the clouds, and he can't bring it down to earth and just make a life from it. So I think there's a key here somewhere for someone, that there is a, you have to come down from the mountain, whatever that mountain is. There's old shamanic stories. I think everyone that listens to this knows I'm a shamanic practitioner, and there's old shamanic stories like the hero's journey, where the person goes out to seek their fortune or enlightenment or whatever. And they go through all kinds of trials and tests and battles and discoveries. And they may come to a place where they think they've discovered it all, like they've figured it all out. And and they, what they end up doing is that they don't have that final disillusion. They don't have that final, like, complete ego dissolving. They don't have the big humiliation or the big mistake. They stay frozen on the mountain. They stay frozen in this place where they think they've figured it all out, and they don't go through the final disillusion because it feels too painful. It feels like, oh, if I give up all this, if I let go of all this, I won't have anything. There'll be nothing left. I've spent 30 years working on this project and going to school and developing myself and whatever. I can't let it all go now. And so I think that's a trap that we can get in on this journey of awakening, and this journey of awakening and becoming. We can get stuck and frozen in a stage that looks like we've made it, but there's actually more to do, and it's the biggest work to do, which is why we may get stuck there. So that's a little deep, but that's what it's saying. So however that fits with you. Okay, so that's the old narrative collapsing, that there's actually a place where we are frozen, and that we need to let go of, like completely let go of. And so what is the new narrative that's awakening? What is the new story, the new belief, the new, oh, okay, nice. The high priestess. So the high priestess is like fully filled with spirit. she is not thinking like this. She is not, I have to do it all myself. I have to figure this out. I have to, I have to, I have to, I have to. It's all me, 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 me. Like she is in total alignment with spiritual and universal forces. And she is just letting it in and letting it happen. And a lot of people see the high priestess as a very passive individual, but I see her as very active. She's very wild. She's active. She's embodied. She's not up in her head thinking anything. She is deep in her body and she is filled with spirit, and she acts from intuition. She's a very active being. She acts from intuition, not from all her intellectual meanderings, all her intellectual stuckness. She is in full capacity of divine flow. So I love that. So how can we support? How can we support that high priestess? So we are moving from kind of an old patriarchal rigidity in our thoughts to this wild, lunar, not passive lunar, like embodied wisdom. So, how do we support that? How do we support that high priestess in us? I love this. The Ace of Swords. Okay, letting the mind just be open. So, letting the mind unravel, letting all these, it needs to be this way, or whatever, whatever those patriarchal thoughts are in us, they're in all of us, and so this Ace of Swords is giving us an opportunity to cleanse that, to cleanse our minds, and let go of all these restricted, severe, like contracted, superior thoughts we might have, and isolating thoughts, and move into this place of receptivity and heightened awareness and embodiment, and just allowing the mind to unravel and be clear. And so, this is really, to me right now, it's talking about meditation and breathing and sitting in nature and not trying to think our way through anything, but actually letting our mind relax and giving it a rest, giving it a deep rest. So that's how we can support the high priestess in us. And let me draw one card from the herbal astrology to support this process of moving from one state of contracted mind to a state of embodiment. Angel's trumpet, death. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, I'll just show this card there. How beautiful. So, what I see Pluto and Mars in this card. I see a bat and a horned winged being, maybe a dakini. There's a portal through the sky or there's a pathway through the sky to a portal. And I see a little magic box with a crystal and a feather. Really, I'm seeing shamanic journeying. So if any of you there are journeyers and practice shamanic journeying as a way to gain insight into your lives and how your life is playing out, I feel like this is the weekend to do a journey on this, to journey on just releasing this old narrative and supporting the structure, the new structures, the new I saw the structures in this way up in the corner of this card, like these new structures that are building inside you, and how we can support that, how we can support the high priestess in us as creative beings, and so we can create from a place of true wisdom for ourselves instead of what we think we're supposed to be doing. So it feels like deep work, but with Uranus squaring the nodes right now, and with this new moon in Gemini happening, and the final decan of Gemini, it just, the whole thing feels karmic. Karmic, and we're in here for the long game. We're creating our lives, and we need to create our lives from deep places, and not just all surfacey, but really going deep and changing an old narrative that is really old, like thousands and thousands of years old. So it's not like an old narrative that we're changing from childhood, because all these narratives have been passed down for generation after generation. So we're going deep this weekend, if you can, to dig up something, something old, and support something healthy and life-giving and life-supporting. So thanks for watching, and yeah, enjoy your weekend, and don't forget to like or comment, and let me know what you think of this video. All right, bye everyone.